Hello and welcome to Three Questions with Kevin. Everybody, Kevin Martin with us today. Good morning, Kevin. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, and thank you for having me here, Kevin.
So, Kev, I actually come on the show today because I want to kind of pick on myself a little bit with you. I am a shiny object guy. I always need a new challenge, something to entertain me. And I was in a situation this week. I saw an opportunity, and it's a horrible opportunity for me, Kev. But part of me was attracted to it because it would be challenging. Why do we keep doing that? Why are we always looking for bigger and better, even when it doesn't make sense for us?
Yeah, that's a great question, Kevin. And it's not all of us. It's some of us are do that and we're looking for bigger and better. And then some of us that just have a hard time saying no when asked for that, right? And it has to do with our internal why. Our internal why. And when I talk to people about why, they'll go, why I do my job is for my family, for my children. I say, yeah, but there's a deeper why. There's a why that's been there long before you had a family and children, right? So it's not the same thing. It's a very deep why. And that's something that gets formed, as we're growing up and as we form our beliefs. And so I'm a why coach. So it's an interesting thing you're talking about. You're asking me why you do the things you do. And as a why coach, and it stems back, was originated from Simon Sinek. A lot of people know Simon Sinek, brought up this whole thing about finding your why and how important it is to know your why. And you bring up a good point because you're wondering why you do the things you do. And discovering your why actually at least helps you realize that. And what people don't realize is the why are gifts as well. Gifts, any gift you have also has a challenge on the other side, doesn't it? Right?
Yep.
It's a superpower. And I noticed that the superheroes as of the last 30 years are much different than the superheroes back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. The superheroes back then were all the good part. Superheroes nowadays show that they have another side. They have a challenging side. And that's our whys have challenges as well.
So here's the situation. When I was offered a chance to teach, I went for it because it was intriguing to me. Until this conversation, I didn't understand that it was part of my why. I am an educator by heart, but I never really did that math until you brought this up. I'm like, he's kind of got me on this one here because
Yeah.
that's kind of like I like that, teaching people stuff. I like helping people. So everything I've done ties back to that why without me really doing what you just said of asking myself, what is your why?
Yeah.
That happened. I just kind of wandered into it.
Yeah, you know what? Teaching. Does everybody out there teach? It's just a small population that do that. It's pretty unique, Yes, as you're growing up, sometimes you admire your teacher and say, I want to be like them. But it's a small population that want to do that. It's different from the rest of the population. So this why I'm talking about, there are nine categories of whys, and my why I've been doing things since I was in middle school probably, is because I like to challenge the status quo. I like to do things differently. The why is actually called challenge. I love to do things differently. I love to do things uniquely different from other people. And that's why first of all, that's why I got into business for myself, right? I was in a really comfy job, my first business. I was getting paid really well. And I said, I don't like this 9 to 5 doesn't fit me anymore. I want to do something different. And so I went out, looked for something different, something I could do, and I became a sales trainer. And then I said, this is I want to have a business. I want to do something more different. And I opened up a software business. And then when my son was having these problems and the status quo of mental health workers couldn't do anything for him, I went looking for something different. And I found neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, and that changed his life in the direction of his life almost instantly. Within a week, things changed. And then I said, I want to do that for other people. And that's something hardly anyone else is doing out there. Yes, there are therapists. Yes, there are psychologists and stuff like that, but that's common. And that wasn't working for my son. I needed to find a different approach. So that's been me since the beginning. And I believe that's a little bit of that's part of you too. You look for challenges. You look for something that you haven't done yet. First of all, that's a big thing you haven't done yet, and not many other people are doing. And that's that shiny object to you, right? Not everybody's a shiny object thing. So, and as a challenge, um, it has its own challenges. First of all, just because you're doing something different doesn't mean you're doing something better. And you actually looked at that. Oh, it's new. It's I really want to do it, and yeah, it's not going to be a good thing.
Yeah, yeah,
That's one of
that's
the
how
big
it ended.
challenges.
Yep. So,
Yeah.
all right, I got one more question. Can my why change?
No. Matter of fact, there's probably some doubt on this, but there's a foundation we have from 0 to 7, 0 to 8 years old, where we build the foundation of ourselves, who we are. And there's beliefs, there's values, there's everything in there, and then there's the why, right? And I, doing the work I do with my clients, I have been able to change, purposely change, help them change, should I say. I don't change them, they work with me, help them change some of those values, some of those things that can be changed. So if it's purposeful and worked on purposefully. Yeah, I suppose there's a way to do that, but it's really a part of who you are. It's really a part of who you are. So there's a why, how, and what. So there's a why I do the things I do. There's a how I do it, and then there's a what I bring. I suspect that you also are a little like me, where contribute, because I'm hearing that from what you're telling me. Contribute's a big part of it. So not only do you strive to, do things differently than others do, and tell me something. Let's see if this is true. When you're teaching a subject, do you go by the exact content that's there, the exact process and how to teach it, or do you look to do things your way?
I'd never. So, what my students say they like about me is I give them real world experiences. Okay, Kev, this is what's in the book. Let me tell you what happened to me or a friend personally. And
Yeah.
that's, if you read my reviews, that's what they'll comment all the time. He brings real world in for us to understand why he's saying what he's saying, not just reading it out of the book.
Mm. Yeah, see, so you do things differently. You do
Yeah,
things you like doing things differently. You see, one of the challenges doing things differently is you're drawn to do it, and you already talked about one of the challenges. One of the challenges I have is when I'm learning something new, as the instructions are being given, I'm thinking, well, how can I do it my way?
yeah.
So I have a hard time learning stuff because my mind keeps on wandering to, okay, is there a different way to do it? In a better way. I want to do things better as well,
Sure. Yeah.
but different. But contribute's also one of the things that's really high. So you have a why, how, and a what. And my what is contribute, and it's probably really ties with the other two really, really fast, because I am one that can't say no. Someone asked me something to help them out. I can't say no. I've had so many problems with that because I get overwhelmed. I say yes to too many things, but I love to help out. And when I do help out, I help out with my ability to look at things differently, to do things differently, and it works out really well for the most part. For the most so this why that's within us. It's really deep in there. It is something that we've lived with, and we've got to learn to live with it. How's this for being different, Kevin? In my first day of high school, I went to a parochial school, Catholic school, and Catholic schools have dress codes. You know that, right?
Of course.
So we had to wear blue slacks and a button-up shirt with a tie. So I said, yeah, I want to do something a little different. I didn't say this in my mind, but it just came to me. I had this army shirt. It was a wool green shirt. It had the stripes on the side and it had the US flag here. And I said, well, I am going to wear this and put a tie on it. I,
Okay.
I'm I'm within the convention. They can't complain.
Yeah.
But boy, I stand out. And you know what? That's who I was. That's who I am today. So I've been that way all now realizing it.
Yep.
You can temper it. When you realize what it is, you can say, whoa, wait a second here. Do I want to do this just because it's something I haven't done before and I want the challenge? Or is it going to be good for me? You can step back when you realize that's you. So does it have it's still your inner drive, it's your inner motivation, but you don't have to live with the consequences of the challenges of your why.
So, Kev, what's the best way for people to reach out to? How can they learn more, my friend?
Sure. You can reach out to me at my website, which is Positive Effects Coaching and Hypnosis. And the website is actually www.poseffects. It's Pause Effects. Or Kevin at pauseeffects.com. Either one. I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook, and I am new in Tampa now. So I'm no longer in the Boston area where you and I met in
Yep.
person.
Yep.
I'm in Tampa, so my LinkedIn and Facebook represent Kevin and Martin in Tampa.
Awesome.
Or
Kevin, I appreciate you taking a few minutes calling the show. And as always, thanks for being my friend.
oh, thank you very much for having me, Kevin.